Hey everyone, Davron here, and today I'm going to be talking about the meta era of Sonic games. Now, Sonic certainly is no stranger to going through changes. In fact, Sonic goes through too many changes, if you ask me. But the meta era is the most recent pattern the series has settled in, and it's been going for a good while now. About over 10 years, and it's believed to have been concluded with the release of Sonic Colors Ultimate and Sonic Colors Rise of the Wisps. The meta era was sort of Sonic's transition, away from the Dark Age where all the games kept adding on characters, and the games were getting less and less well received, so a change was due up. The meta era shifted all the voice casts and the direction of the series to appeal more to children. And also, the games got more consistent quality, and Sonic was most usually the only playable character, the stories got more lighthearted, and so what I'm here to decide is whether this change was for the good or for the bad of the series, and whether the meta era overall helped or hurt Sonic. So when talking about the meta era games, it started off with Sonic Colors, then continued into the next year with Generations, as well in between and around them we had the Olympic Games series and Sonic 4. So it started off with releases being pretty plentiful, there being a new Sonic game basically every year. And on top of that, all the games were being received really well, which was something new at the time after Sonic Unleashed wasn't received well by critics. And even before that, Sonic 06, Sonic and the Secret Rings, and Black Knight. All good games didn't do well, but as we entered the 2010s, Sonic started seeing a resurgence in critics, and people were saying that Sonic had found his footing in 3D again, with games like Sonic Generations, celebrating the series' 20th anniversary, and Sonic Colors being huge hits. Sonic was being around on every console, it wasn't really exclusive to anything. Until the Wii U era, but we'll talk about that later. So then, Sonic was back for a lot of people. People who had only played the classics saw the classic pandering in games like Sonic Colors and Sonic 4, and they wanted to play Sonic again. Sonic was a hit again. Sonic entered the 2010s with a lot of momentum. Now, the gameplay styles of the meta era mostly revolved around the boost from Sonic Unleashed, and it worked well for Sonic Generations and Sonic Colors as they added in a few extra things to spice up the boost gameplay. And say what you will about the meta era, the games were very polished, there weren't any significant glitches, and all the games ran perfectly fine, at least from my personal experience. But anyway, there was a boost gameplay with a few extra gameplay tweaks like Classic Sonic and Sonic Generations and the Wisps and Sonic Colors. They had a nice few gimmicks, but the games were definitely noticeably quite short. People wanted more. And then, going into 2013, everyone was asking Sonic Team they wanted a game with more length, a better story than what was seen in Colors and Generations, and just noticeably more streamlined controls. And Sonic Lost World came out. It was met with relatively mediocre reception by critics and fans alike. People were split down the middle on this one. A lot of aspects that people did and didn't like, but right now we're only focusing on the gameplay, we'll talk about story later. So, Sonic Lost World, as I've already spoken about this, I liked the game, but a lot of people didn't because it switched up so much about the already successful boost formula, and it was just such an unneeded step in the wrong or correct direction. It was just an unneeded sidestep. And then the Sonic Boom era happened, which I'm not going to be talking about right now because it's sort of technically in the meta era, but sort of lies in the middle/outside of it. Sonic Boom era is weird. And then followed that up in 2017, we got Sonic Forces and Sonic Mania, more classic pandering, and Sonic Forces was not very well received. Can't remember if it was better or worse than Sonic Lost World, but anyway, it wasn't received well, but since then, Sonic Team has just accepted that, and we've moved on. We got Team Sonic Racing in 2019, and that brings us to where we are today with Sonic Colors Ultimate, a remaster of the very first game in 2010, the one that brought Sonic back on the map. It's all like it's come for us. It's almost like it's come full circle. Sorry about that. So the games, while they weren't absolute major disasters, they lost a bit of scope, but they exchanged that for some really good stability, no more glitches, and the gameplay was generally fun, even at the worst of times in the meta era. But what was the major trade-off of these games? Well, that was the story, tone, and direction. As mentioned previously, the voice cast had all changed, Roger Craig Smith was now voicing Sonic, and I think he does a pretty good job of it. A lot of other people don't. Well, I guess that's it. But anyway, all the characters got simpler personalities, and mostly, the stories of the Meta era weren't great. They were targeted at kids, but I think some of the comedy in Sonic Colors and Lost World, even kids these days don't laugh at that. It was pretty bad. The writing in Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations was pretty bad. Sonic Lost World, I would say got a bit better, but still wasn't good, and Sonic Forces was probably the peak of Meta era storytelling, and even that wasn't great, so yeah. The Meta era sort of stopped having serious plots and focused more on gameplay. And while I was fine with that because I don't really care about story in video games, a lot of people weren't. They said that Sonic's character was becoming flanderized, which means they took one aspect of their personality and made it their entire personality. And I kind of agree with that. Some of Sonic characters definitely lost the charm they had from the Dark era and Adventure era, and even Classic era. So Sonic had been in this weird state where the games were getting good, the stories were not. And a lot of fans were clamoring for a return to the Dark era, and that's what happened with Sonic Forces, but then even that disappointed everyone. So, the Meta era storytelling was definitely probably the worst part of the Meta era. Everything got simpler, more directed at children, and while I don't mind that personally, I'm more focused on the gameplay of the next game. It was certainly a drawback to a lot of people who were used to the things we're getting in the Dark era. But at the time, and I repeat, at the time, it was a nice breath of fresh air for the series, and we'd finally gotten consistent quality game releases. But then that stopped happening, and now we're in this weird mess where Sonic Colors Ultimate was, well, Sonic Colors Ultimate, and now we're waiting for Frontiers to see if the Meta era truly has gone away. So, that was Sonic in the 2010s. A simpler direction, focused more on children, and while I wouldn't say it was a bad turn for the series, it certainly helped a lot with quality game releases. It definitely did lose something it had during the Dark era, but I wouldn't be lying if I said I didn't like the Meta era. The Meta era has some of my favorite Sonic games of all time, like Generations and Generations and Colors, and all these games are outstanding. And at the very least, the Meta era, even at its worst, still had pretty fun gameplay, like in Lost World and Forces. Yes, I'm calling Forces fun, deal with it, my opinion. Anyway, I like the Meta era, not because it focused on children, and not because it's pandering to classic Sonic fans. I like the Meta era because we got quality game releases. We got consistent, no glitches, no nonsense, it was just a stable and solid release. Every time. We didn't have to worry that the game would be broken and we'd clip through the floor. And that stuff was all alleviated, regardless of the tone, regardless of the bad storytelling. I really do enjoy the Meta era, probably purely because of its gameplay. And I don't really care about the mixed voice actors. I think that Roger Craig Smith does a better job than Ryan, but probably worse job than Jason. But even so, he's a pretty good voice actor. And overall, the Meta era, I take no offense to it, I love the Meta era. It had some amazing games, and I certainly much prefer it to the Dark era games. So, that's it for me, Devron, signing off.